So, what's your background in martial arts? How did you get from a beginner to here?
Started off in judo when I was a young boy, about 15. Then went on to training with a friend, doing a local Taijitsu club. And then trained from there up to my black belt. And then was always interested in sort of martial arts movies, kung fu movies. So I started training with Bob Breen up in London, doing JKD with him and Neil McLeod. Trained there for many years, got my black belt under Bob. And then started training with Neil over near Aylesbury. And then from there was working on more mixed martial arts MMA. Started competing, Neil, under his banner. At the same time started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with Kev K, who was a purple belt at that time. And then I've carried on training with Kev and Neil from then on. Got a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu a couple of years ago, I think. And that's how I've got to where I am now.
So, a couple of things, just for people who don't know, what is Taijitsu?
Taijitsu?
Yeah.
Taijitsu is Japanese martial art. So it's part of the greater sort of system of ninjutsu. It's not ninjutsu, it's a section of it, because ninjutsu is in many schools under one banner. But that would be the body fighting science of it, the punching, kicking and throwing bit. It splits into two. There's a striking side to it and a sort of a grappling side to it. So yeah, that's why I'm self-defense orientated with a little bit of kickboxing and stuff put into it as well.
And what is JKD?
Jeet Kune Do, way of the intercepting fist. So stemming from Bruce Lee, but I learned it from Bob, so that would have come from Inasanto.
Okay.
Through Inasanto to Bob, and Neil was a full instructor under Dan Inasanto as well, so that would have come from Inasanto.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think both Bob Breen and Neil McLeod both have quite a holistic approach to martial arts, don't they?
Yeah. You know, train hard, train clever. You know, work with your partner. Don't beat on your partners. You know, if you're both fighters and you're going for a fight, then obviously the sparring's going to bubble up, but not bubble over. It's going to get you prepared for a competition, full contact fight. But you know, when you're training with the rest of the people in the group, you know, you have to gauge whether they're your plus, minus, or equal. You know, if they're your minus, you want to be helping them to grow and get better, because there will be a new really good training partner for you. If they're your equal, there's someone you can compete with in a wholesome way, not in an egotistical way. Yeah. And obviously if they're your plus, then you don't want to push them to unload, because they might give you what for, so they're probably looking after you in some way, shape or form to try and help you grow. Yeah.
And in regards to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, over recent years it's evolved a lot. What's your opinion, someone who's coming from a self-defense background, how it's sort of starting to taper more towards sports and the competition side of things, as opposed to real-life self-defense situations?
Brazilian, the same material potentially is going to be used, yeah, for self-defense and sport, but where it's used and when it's used may change. And when you start adding in like striking, you know, more than one person, you know, the way you're employ techniques within Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu will change. You know? So like throwing and going to the ground in comp would be fine. But if it was you and maybe there's more than one person, you got into an opportunity to put that person on the ground and hit them with the planet, yeah, you may choose to throw and not go with, if possible. Yeah? And then you'd employ the ground game if the person drags you down to the ground. Yeah? You're also looking to make sure that you don't maybe go into the ground game because that's what you've trained to do from the sports side. You might choose like knee ride position so you can disengage quicker. Yeah? Always try and be the guy on top. Yeah, like in MMA. Yeah? But even then, when you're on top, you know, you could be a mount on someone. They've only got to wrap your legs up and then shout. You know, and their mate suddenly walks out of the shop around the corner, and now it's 2-on-1, and your head's wide open. You just can't get off of them. So you just need to use the same material, maybe not some of the really in-depth barimbalas, spider guard stuff, but the basic core sort of like blue belt level stuff, black belts, experience and mentality, yeah, and kind of hold you in good stead.
So you'd say blue belt level material, black belt level experience?
Yeah, with their sort of knowledge, understanding, experience doing the blue belt sort of up to blue belt syllabus stuff, escaping, surviving, getting on top. But again, you should be getting taught your BJJ, and then hopefully your coach is pointing out sport, and then you just make this little change to it, and you could now maybe use it for self-defense. Yeah?
And what would you say is the most important factor of a martial artist? Is it mental? Is it physical? Is it being, for example, early UFCs had grapplers dominate, but would you feel that going into a realistic situation, whether that be an MMA match or that be a self-defense scenario, how would you handle that, and what would you say is the best tool to have in that arsenal?
Okay, there was about 3 different questions.
Sorry, I fired too many. So first question was, what would you say is the most important factor and thing for a martial artist to have?
It will always be the mind to begin with, yeah, because the mind controls the body.
Okay.
So
I'm expecting like a yoga answer now.
Have they got the qualities?
Yeah.
Do they have the perseverance, the heart, the self-control, yeah, to do the training? Yeah, because your coach can show you the techniques and drill you, but you've got to have the courage to get on the mat, to get in the cage, to get in the ring. They, in one way, might even be able to help to improve your perseverance and your self-control. Yeah, but if you have that innately already, those are the ones that have that within them and tend to go towards the top a little bit faster, a little quicker. Don't fall by the wayside because they give up too easy. They want it.
Any questions from you?
I think so, but about that belt stuff, blue belt and black belt mentality, I mean, if you told me something really useful, it'd be good to get on camera about. A white belt is an escape artist, a blue belt is, do you know the thing I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. So like, say for white belt, you'd be looking for surviving, yeah? So you want to learn your survival positions. Yeah, surviving creates frustration in the person on top, and frustration creates movement. And you're always vulnerable when you're moving from A to B. There's opportunities for space to be created, for escape to now be performed, yeah, improvement in position, frames, positioning, posture. Then blue belt would be like the escapologist, the escape artist. He's got his survival position down, so he can create frustration in the person above to try and open you up for submissions and move into more dominant position. With all that movement, now he can start applying his ability to escape, yeah, and get back on top and back in the fight. And then same as you're moving up, the next one, I'd say purple belts, they'll be like guard passes, yeah, and so on like that. Yeah. Or there'll be someone who'll be playing guard more now, yeah. So purple belts will be playing their guard, brown belts will be guard passes, black belts will be a combination of all with subs. Yeah. Obviously you're going to be learning submissions all the way through, but especially in those first 2 ranks, surviving, leading to escaping, leading to passing, or playing guard, yeah, leading to passing, and then putting the whole shebang together, submitting.
On the subject of belts, I know that Bruce Lee very famously didn't believe in belts, and with sort of martial arts like karate and other ones where your journey begins at black belt, and sort of black belt's actually almost like the starting level when you're allowed to spar, when you're allowed to do certain things. How important would you factor in belts, and are they nonsense? Could someone just jump from martial art to martial art, learn loads, or are the belts regimented for a purpose?
Belt systems probably work well for a Western society that likes to have goals. Yeah. So, and everyone who gets a tag on their belt always has a little smile on their face when they get that little bit of recognition and encouragement, and they see that little milestone ticked over. So as long as you're looking at...
And for the record, for the camera, how many black belts do you now have? And in what disciplines?
Obviously Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Taijutsu, and Japanese sword style that I used to do as well.
Okay. And just a final question, who is your favourite martial artist? You can't say yourself.
That'd be my coaches.
Your coaches? Alright,
So
cool.
I spend more time with them.
Anything you want to say to the camera about martial arts, about how you feel about it, about a piece of wisdom that you'd want to pass on?
Martial arts, I'd say, hopefully is a journey you should enjoy and should cultivate you as a person. And you could also learn how to look after yourself, get some competitions in, help you grow, deal with winning and losing, yeah, at the same time. It's just help you all rounded, as long as you find a good, wholesome club. Yeah, like they're not trying to maybe push you to do things you're not ready for, or maybe training might go in a direction where you might inadvertently get hurt quite a bit. Yeah. There'll be bumps and bruises along the way, but you shouldn't be going home with concussions and black eyes and broken noses left, right, and centre.
Right, any more questions? Just one final one. What's your take? I went to my mate's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym, and it was open mats on Saturday, and we were about to spar, and he's a blue belt, and he corrected me and said, "Oh no, we start from the knees here in sparring," and they never spar takedowns. They just strictly did from the knee sparring all the time, every time. What's your take on that? Do you feel that gives, what's your take on that?
Well, from the knees is basically midget takedowns. So if you start from the knees, so it's practicing takedowns without actually standing up. I mean, you're not necessarily going to hit that position a whole lot. You will find it though when you fall on someone, when they shoot in, you'll come up to that knee position. So you'll find that might be something they're doing at the moment, but then they'll start evolving as they start playing all the guards. They'll start from CT guard, or closed guard. And maybe then when they've got the kneeling bit down, I don't know their training method, they might find that the high ranks now move to standing to floor and then work it from there.
Alright, cool. Yeah, I'm happy. Cheers for that, John.